I'm Chris Wayless, and I'm one of the members of Dark Arbor Lodge, and this video is about our 2022 Oddtober show. This was a show we did at a gallery in Vancouver, Washington, which is just across the river from Portland, Oregon here. And the gallery is called Art at the Cave. And they requested we do a show after seeing some of our stuff. I should tell you something about Dark Arbor Lodge. We are a group of creatives in the area that have sort of formed a coalition, mutual admiration society we call Dark Arbor Lodge, and we meet monthly at my house or wherever, but mostly at my house, to basically talk shop, or talk glue as my wife likes to say, and also just to socialize. It's great to be able to chat with other artists about our work, our materials, and what we're up to. A lot of us come from the entertainment industry, motion pictures, amusement parks, public installations, things like that. So we have a lot of commonality in our conversations. But some of us do quite unique work. And there are, I don't know, a dozen, maybe 18, maybe 20 creative people involved in Dark Arbor Lodge, but there's really only a core group of about a dozen or so. And we get together, like I say, monthly. We can't always make it all the time, but as many of us can get together. So the artists that were involved in this show are Anya Bogorad, Sam Cobb, Odessa Godoy, Raiden Gorby, Matt Hawkins, Nick Ketman, Josh Kinsey, Derek Tall, and myself. And it was a fun show, a very successful show. The gallery said it was the most successful show they'd had. We had some very good local coverage. Morning television show did a segment on us, which was really great, very helpful. And one of the things we had in the show was a bunch of costumes, like that one you just saw. And I think there were 4 or 5 of them. And on opening night, we had performers running around in a couple of them, 2 or 3 of them at least, which was very successful, a lot of fun. I had a bunch of my papier-mâché pieces in the show, as well as several costumes. And one of the costumes that was a huge hit was this box crab costume that I did for my daughter Xena, and it folds up nice and tight and then unfolds into a more colorful creature. So she did a walk around with that, and we went outside with it and down the block a little bit and entertained some of the public outside, which was a lot of fun. A lot of the artists are multi-skilled. They're not just one thing or another. Here's a sort of monstrous tree that Derek Tall made, and those are all little tiny octopi as leaves. But Derek also does a lot of great paintings. So there was quite a lot to see in the show, a lot of variety. And we had some puppets from our Werewolves on the Moon trailer we're doing. We had costumes from my Apes of Frankenstein trailer. A lot of masks. I had a lot of papier-mâché work in it, as I say, and there was a lot of unique pieces that I hadn't seen or even knew that other members were capable of. So it was a lot of fun for all of us, I think, to see what everybody was up to. Here's one of Derek's paintings. But he had quite a number of pieces there, as well as prints. Here's my Bokanga orangutan costume. It's one of Josh Kinsey's great pieces. And one of the great things about Dark Arbor Lodge is we are multi-skilled artists and creatives. So we get a chance to probe each other about figuring out how each of us is using different materials, or we get updates when somebody finds a new material. So it's wonderfully informative, it's great sharing, and a lot of inspiration. And we tend to do a variety of different projects. Again, we're doing some fake film trailers just for the fun of it. We've done a number of art shows. We're doing sort of personal events for the group. We just did a sip and sculpt session, which will be another video, I think, where we had a number of very timed sculpting challenges and had some alcoholic beverages in between. So that was a lot of fun. And we had a paper craft challenge a few years ago where we literally just each had 2 hours to come up with some sort of a 3D paper creature from an alien sea. So we do a lot of different stuff to keep ourselves amused. And overall, that works pretty well. This is one of my papier-mâché H.P. Lovecraft inspired abominations. One of Josh Kinsey's graphic pieces. I don't know if I mentioned, Josh works in a lot of different medias, very multi-skilled and multi-talented. He does graphic work as well as a lot of three-dimensional work of his own specific style, which is a kind of a steampunk. Here's some of Matt Hopkins' pieces. He did a lot of pieces for the show, and he does these very fun wall mounts as well as full figures. He did one of the costumes. And this is another one of my papier-mâché pieces, Chimera Kitten. Here's Derek Tall's, I think this is a Domovoy, another one of my papier-mâché Lovecraft creations. Here's another papier-mâché piece, this time by Derek Tall. I think some of you may recognize the inspiration for this particular functional mask. This was a costume I created just for the show, sort of a wobbly goblin kind of character, imbalanced, radio-controlled head, mouth, eyes, third eye in the back of the head. Here's another one of Derek Tall's sculptures. I'm pretty sure that's Derek's. There's artist Nick Ketman, and that is Matt Hopkins' costume haunting him. Another papier-mâché piece of mine. Here's one of Anya Bogorad's pieces. She had quite a bit in the show as well. Here's Matt Hopkins' big, I can't remember the name of this particular statue, but it's a nice big monster that everybody seemed to warm up to pretty well. Again, opening night, we had people in costume running around, which was a lot of fun. Another Matt Hopkins piece. This is one of Raiden Gorby's. Really, this is a great bronze piece. And here's one of Odessa's. I don't know if this is oil or acrylic. And then Anya had a selection of whimsical wall mounts, I guess I could call them. Here's a pair of Odessa's blacklight paintings. A mask that Derek Tall made that I'm not sure what the source material was. Again, shot of my daughter Azina in costume. And here's Derek Tall's Plague Doctor at the top. One of my paper mache masks on the left, and Raiden Gorby's silicone piece down below. Here's some of the full figures that Matt Hopkins did. I really like these. In fact, I wanted to get one, but they were all sold by the time I sorted it out. It was a very popular show. I think I mentioned it was very, very well attended. And there's some pretty good sales. There's an entire wall of Josh Kinsey pieces. And that's a sample of what we had. Hope you enjoyed.